Adapting, dropping anchor for moments of intense emotion, strong episodes of things like OCD, depression, panic. I like to practice this with clients using a video and using the video to simulate valued actions in life. So things that matter to us that we want to engage in and carry these difficult thoughts and feelings with us as we engage in these important activities. So I'm going to load up a video and then we're going to run through this practice. I've chosen a video of David Attenborough because it was probably one of the things that I could use that the vast majority of people are going to find relatively interesting and probably less triggering or challenging. But really, this could be any video. This could be reading a book. This could be getting outside, doing tasks, activities, meeting people, tidying your house, doing physical tasks you need to do, intellectually engaging in a puzzle or problem or a game, playing video games, anything you like, doing sports, physical activities. So it's choosing valued actions that are going to be supportive during a time of crisis. So the first step with dropping anchor is that we shorten the acknowledge phase. So very briefly acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. So it's like you take a brief look at what your mind is doing. If it's racing, just notice that. If it's hard to detect what's going on because it's busy or you feel detached, feel overwhelmed, just notice that. And you could name it. You could say overwhelm, mind racing, worry, panic, depressive rumination, something else. And then briefly notice what you're feeling in the major parts of your body, your head, chest, abdomen, arms and legs. Notice the strongest sensation and label it. Is it panic? Is it anxiety? Is it dread? Is it fear? Is it numbness? Is it tiredness? Is it pain? Is it depressed mood? Is it shame, guilt, anger, fear, sadness, something else? And then we spend longer getting into the body. So you could actually get up and move, and you could do some yoga, Pilates, stretching, mobility. You know, if you have a way you like to move your body, you could do that. You can walk through your feet on the ground for a little bit, raising one heel, then the other. If breathing is supportive and you find it a good anchor, you can breathe not to get rid of the feeling, but to hold you steady and grounded within this overwhelm. And you might do this for a few minutes, 5 minutes, longer. And as you do it, if your mind is pulling you off into worry and fear and overwhelm, just acknowledge that. If you're feeling intense waves of emotion, just watch those waves rise and fall, getting into your body. And then we spend even more time engaging. So we're going to engage in something more cognitively demanding, i.e. an interview. So we just listen to the interview for a bit, focus. If your mind's wandering off, if you're very distracted, if it's very hard to concentrate, just notice and return, notice and come back over and over. Doesn't matter. Just be compassionate if you're not fully following or understanding everything. That's okay. It's what happens when we're overwhelmed. So just notice and come back.
But let's think about the UK, because we've seen a number of successful reintroductions. Last year we saw ospreys breeding for the first time in the south of England. Sea eagles. I've seen them from my garden.
Hello.
It's astonishing, isn't it? Absolutely astonishing.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I was involved in the introduction of the sea eagle. How long ago is that now? 30 years? Mm. But to see the steady increase in that has been remarkable. And ospreys, of course, is a marvellous story. Mm. And Rutland Water, which is near where I was brought up, it wasn't the water wasn't there at the time when I was a boy. But, you know, that's another marvellous story. Mm.
We sustain our attention as best you can. And then if you have another big wave of difficult emotion or intense intrusive thoughts or depressive rumination or depersonalization symptoms or whatever it might be, then you run through dropping anchor again. So acknowledge briefly thoughts and feelings, maybe notice and name them. Then spending time getting into your body again, more time. And you could pause the video at each section and spend a bit longer. So you could pause the video and spend some time doing mobility, stretching, physical movement, and then engage again, engage. And you could have other things to engage in. You could pause the video and read a book for a little while, or pause the video or have it on headphones and go and do an activity or a task. And then you engage again as best you can, just gently bringing that attention back to what you're focusing on. And you can coach yourself through this. You can remind yourself, okay, diffuse, step back, accept the feelings, focus on what you're doing, engage, Johnny, as best you can, to use your name and coach yourself through it.
Do you have a favourite winter species in the UK?
Well, I certainly welcome redwings when they come through. I mean, they are so enjoyable because they're easy to spot for a start, and you know where they've come from. And you know, sadly, that they aren't going to stay for very long. They only stay for 3, 4, 5 days, and then they disappear.
I'll go for tawny owl, because they start calling, they become very vocal in January.
You don't see them, though.
No, but I kind of like, we're lucky enough to have some large trees outside, and I'll be in the house and I'll hear them hooting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I go over to the window and I open the window, and then you'll wait. There's always that period of anticipation. They always stop when you open the window, and then you have to wait there, and the cold air's coming in, and then all of a sudden you get that clear hoot.
So again, briefly acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. If it's hard to acknowledge, then definitely use naming, and you could just say anxious thoughts and feelings, or depressed thoughts and feelings, intrusive thoughts, urge to do compulsions. Just give it a label. Come back to your body. Could splash some water on your face, could have a glass of water, could do something, engage in your senses to come back to your body, smell a scent that you like, or hold something that is soothing to you. And then again, engaging as best you can. Notice and refocus, just doing it over and over again.
We have a little block in the watches now where we have 90 seconds. I know it's only 90 seconds out of an hour-long programme, but it's significantly popular where there is no music and no commentary.
Well, that's the thing about your programmes. They're very varied. You've got very varied elements in it, and to have the element of silence, as you do, is a nice thing to have. And the great thing about your show is that you turn up and you're a friend and you're in the living room.
So you could use any valued interest, anything important to you to focus and refocus on. Often it's good to do something very physical, engage your body if you can, and you can coach yourself through it. You can instruct yourself and motivate yourself with a kind, compassionate inner voice. And you just keep doing this, and you do this all day if you need to. You just think of it like you're scoring points. Every time you step back and refocus, you're scoring a point, and you want to keep doing this over and over and over again throughout the day and score many, many points. And if you do that enough, often, yeah, you may have one very difficult day. The next day might be easier. You might have a little bit more space, a little bit more engagement in what you're doing. It's like you've built up this resource of focus and attention that carries you through and makes it easier. Sometimes you have to do it for many days. And once you get through that difficult episode, you're building confidence, you're learning that you can use your skills to get through difficult times. And that is a skill for life, something that will help you through all kinds of difficult times and help you to enjoy the good times as well more. So don't give up, keep going, reach out, get support from a therapist if you need to, if it's too intense. Most people will need that during difficult episodes, support from friends, practice the skills socially around people, keep refocusing onto them, listening, engaging, and doing it over and over again with gentle relentlessness. And feel free to listen to this, play this, use this multiple times, and keep going. You've got it.